going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Raya and the Last Dragon, okay? But before we get into that, I need everybody to like, subscribe, and go ahead and tap that notification bell one time. I just want to make sure everybody is fully aware of everything I drop that easy, all right? But without further ado, let's jump into this review. Going into this movie, I really had little to no expectations on what the movie was going to be about. And it's not because I had any ill malice towards Raya or her dragon. It's just for the fact that I don't really watch a lot of trailers, okay? When it's one main trailer, I'll watch it. When it shows you bits and pieces of the movie, I'm definitely in it. But a lot of these extra trailers just show you way too much, overly saturated. I'm the type of person that when I'm watching the movie, I don't want to know what's going to happen. And I don't want to be expecting what's going to happen because of what I saw in the trailer, you know? So I try to take everything with a grain of salt on my initial watch, okay? And so did my family. Nobody knew what it was about. Now, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about Raya. So Raya is a part of a family who, in generation after generation, has been guarding this dragon gem, okay? And a little background on why they're guarding this dragon gem is humans and dragons lived harmoniously over 500 years ago in a land called Kumandra. And for some reason, these Druuns came. And these Druuns are like these big purple beings that they'll consume you, turn you into stone, and then multiply. So not only are they taking one of you, they're, creating another one of them. And of course, it's just going to keep doubling and doubling until the point where the dragons had to come together, focus all of their magic into a stone, and only one dragon was able to use that stone to cast away the Druuns, okay? And for some reason, the humans didn't really come together afterwards. They actually fought each other, and the completed city of Kumandra, which is, kind of set in an Asian landscape, if you may, and it's in the shape of a dragon, like their land. They actually all separated after this war. Now, we got the heart, we got the spine, we got the talon, we got the fang. Now, all of these are different villages, if you want to say it like that. And in these different villages, it's all very different. We got rich, we got poor, we got country. And what Raya has to do in this movie is pretty much gather all of the pieces of this gem so that ultimately by the end of the movie, she's able to stop the Druuns, okay? And the Druuns have completely taken over in this movie. There aren't a lot of areas where these things don't roam free. Now, in the movie, they explain to you that they are afraid of water, and they don't really like to get anywhere close to those type of things, which is cool because our other lead character, Sisu, who was played by Awkwafina, I know that's a crazy name, but that's really her name, it's Awkwafina. She is the dragon that was able to use that stone, and pretty much the movie just kind of entails Raya and that last dragon coming together, overcoming a lot of obstacles, and along the way, they meet a lot of different people. So in every village, pretty much the first person that she meets, she kind of has like a situation with. And in each situation, they overcome it, and that person kind of joins in because ultimately what Raya is trying to do in this movie is bring peace, okay? And she's trying to come and collect all of the gemstones and put it together and save the world. Now, she is a little selfish in the sense of she's doing it more to save her father, okay? Her father was turned into stone. Now, even though she's a little bit selfish and that's what she's doing it for, ultimately, her saving her father is going to save the world, okay? And in this movie, they really, really harp on trust, on if you can trust someone, the fact that you can't trust anyone. Raya, on one hand, is very untrustworthy, while Sisu is very trustworthy, and Sisu is the dragon, okay? And pretty much we just have this banter, this comedic banter that goes back and forth. The trailer for this movie, they kind of set the tone to be very serious, but I kind of found the movie to be very comedic. I would literally look across the couch and see my family with nothing but smiles. Smile on their face, smile on their face, smile on their face. Even me, like, by the end of this movie, I was like, wow, I didn't cry, I didn't tear up. And I'm not trying to say that to make fun of myself, but, when I watch a really good movie that pulls on the heartstrings, I'm not afraid to let a tear fall. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't help it. But in this movie, even though there was a sad part, for the most part, it was very comedic, all right? Another thing that they really want to push in this movie is how harmonious the humans living with the dragons were. This is where I have a couple issues with the movie. I kind of felt they spent a lot of time explaining things instead of showing us things. Here's an example. one of the young men that she meets in one of the villages trying to collect these stones, he's a 10-year-old boy. He lost his family. He owns a shrimp boat. He's the captain. I'm sure it was his family's, but with them being gone due to the Druuns, he's in charge. And there's a moment in the movie where he actually asks them, what are they? And we get into this 5-minute spiel on what they are. But we never get any real backstory, okay? We don't know where the Druuns come from, why they're doing what they're doing. Now, I know that they're supposed to be the villain, but every villain has a motive. And if you don't really explain that motive, it just kind of seemed real talk the talk and not walk the walkie, if that makes sense. A lot of the time they told you how much they didn't trust someone instead of showing you how much they didn't trust someone. Our other villains in this movie are a part of the Fang village or kingdom, and pretty much it seems like it's a mother and daughter. They have the same haircut reversed, and pretty much they are diehard gem fans. They want all the gems and they kind of want the dragon and they want to do things for themselves. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, all it takes is everyone to come together in this movie and trust one another with the dragons and with the humans so that they can overcome this Druun situation. But for some reason, these humans, they just want the power. They want the authority. They want to be able to call the shots and they enjoy being at the top of, the Kumandra separation, okay? They like being the big dogs. But our main character definitely brings it all to shambles. She definitely breaks in everyone's village. She gets all the pieces of the stone. She does what she came to do. And the way that this movie ended, I just loved it, okay? From the landscape, from the Asian influence in this movie, which is very prevalent, okay? I mean, every actor in this movie, for the most part, was Asian. I think there's one character who's a white man, and he was Tuk Tuk, which is like this big old roly-poly, which was awesome. But with that being said, there were so many great moments in this movie, all right? I laughed my ass off. Not a lot of people were talking in my household during this movie, which means it had everyone's attention, okay? There were a few things that I wish could have been better, but for the most part, the fight scenes were amazing. The camera angles were amazing. The animation was amazing. It reminded me a lot of Moana, but their faces looked like Barbies to me. I couldn't really get over the whole Barbie thing, but for the most part, man, it was completely amazing. I'm talking about the epic battle scenes to the, very personal daughter and father scenes. Like, it really pulled it all together. And overall, I'm definitely going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. If you agree or you disagree, only way I'm going to know is if you jump in my comments. Now, I don't really want to give it anything lower than a 9 because I'm telling you, I really laughed and enjoyed this whole movie. So did everyone in my family. I just really didn't like a couple ways, like I said, that they didn't really show you things. They just did things and said things. But for the most part, man, this was an absolutely amazing movie. Disney did it again. I love a movie where not only can it educate you, but it excites you. So that's why I have to give this movie the rating that I did, because ultimately it was a fantastic movie made by Disney, okay? So, hey, Raya the Last Dragon, have you seen it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? If so, jump in my comment section and let me know what you thought about this great movie, all right? Hey, but you already know what it is. It's your boy Merc. It's been a pleasure, but I'm out.